Welcome back to Sunrise. Today we're coming to you live from Uyo in Akwa Ibom State, and then we'll have His Excellency Udom Emmanuel, Governor of Akwa Ibom State. Well, let's talk a little bit of politics now before we see if we could get a question or two from people who have listened to you. Your party, the PDP, only recently there were this conflicting court judgments about the caretaker committee, who heads what. Do you see your party? Yes, we've seen the headlines today, though, but do you think your party is going to eventually stay as one? Because there are many who think that, look, there's no gainsaying that fact. There certainly will be a faction that will break away and go and form another party somewhere.
PDP will stay as one, and doubly sure. What you're calling, those names, I don't want to join you in calling them because those are not the situation that we have on ground. I think we are one. Let me say so. I look at the convention we had in Port Harcourt. Every serving governor, past governor, former Senate President, President, Deputy Senate President, the entire National Assembly, House of Assembly, and the entire structure of PDP were in Port Harcourt. So that alone should tell you that there's nothing like all those names that you're using on us. But let me say something here. This is the largest party you can ever think of in Africa. There's no single unit. It's Teles. There's no single unit you go to in Nigeria. I'm talking about unit. And you mention PDP and people will be lost. And we can boast that is the only party you can have that all over this country. Even an elite, even somebody who is, a fisherman inside the river, mention PDP, the guy will know. So we're everywhere. And such a large party, such a large family, once a while, even when you put two teacups together, at times they hit themselves. But it doesn't mean that they are broken. You will only hear the sound of a teacup. When they hit each other, or a spoon dropping on a plate. You can only hear the sound. It doesn't mean that the plate is broken or the spoon is broken. So that's exactly what is happening in PDP.
Would it be a good idea for the party to change its name? Or rebrand, as they say?
The question is, why do we have to do that? Why do we need to rebrand?
People say that if you have to get back to the center, you need a new idea, a new philosophy.
Idea and philosophy does not necessarily, let me put it that way, go with a change in name. You see, mind you, that's why you say, let's talk politics. This is politics. In politics, you swear at times, you can see opposition would try to say you're black when you're white. At the end of the day, that's why thank God today, Nigerians are so enlightened. They can see, they can measure, they can feel. Coming back to my state again, every single development you see in this state is under PDP. So it will be extremely difficult for you to tell them that there's another political party outside PDP. Because a woman who never thought the child will go to school is going to school free. What will you tell that woman when she doesn't even need to pay WAEC fees? I pay WAEC fees for the family. What will you tell that woman that she will hear? What will you tell a woman who walks into the secondary general hospital here and delivers free? What will you tell a woman where a child or between 1 to 5 will get into the hospital in my state and get free medical treatment, outpatient and even inpatient? So it will be extremely difficult. So the basic things that are being provided and enjoyed here had all been PDP. That's why we keep saying so. In my state, PDP is like a religion.
But I've also seen some federal roads being touched by your government. How do you plan to get those monies back?
The question there is, when you say federal roads, agreed, these are federal roads. But how many federal ministers come to drive on my road? So what we look at is, you see, to serve your people, you look at, your people are predominantly those who are using this road. At times, too, we need to talk about what we've put in. Like the regional roads I've touched. The Calabar road, there was a time the thing collapsed completely. 35 meters deep of gully erosion. I had to use the state. We don't even have the money right now. I had to look for money anywhere and then make sure I filled that up, hoping that one day the federal government will look into our plight and then reimburse us on this. It's not only roads. There are a lot of things state governors do. The federal government should look at it and then try to see how we can get a little bit of reimbursement. A lot of federal assets that we maintain, the road is very key here. So I just hope we are applying. The president actually promised, as of today, we've put in a whole lot on federal roads. But I think also the present minister, I mentioned to him the last time, that there are a lot of federal economic roads here. Take, for example, the road that leads you from Cross River through Akwa Ibom into Abia, and the other one, diverting into rivers. A lot of granite consumption in the southeast, south come from Akampa. So even if we privatize that road and toll the road can pay for itself and maintain itself. Even in developed economies of the world, there are certain routes you ply, and then you must pay something. So we can't actually pretend as if we are a developed economy. Meanwhile, we are developing. Nobody can pretend. So some of these things, we need to go back to it. Make sure, you see, what those trailers are asking for, can we have roads that are well maintained and motorable? Because some of them sleep on the road for over 3 days. At times that road will be gridlocked for 2 good days. People won't be able to move. So which one is cheaper for them? To pay just a paltry sum and then drive, through a dual carriage thoroughfare or sleep on the road? So we need to also look at some of these, because the roads we have here economically can actually, we put a toll on it, it can actually pay and also maintain those roads. I believe the present minister will look at that, and I'm sure we'll get a whole lot of investors on some of
Just let me come in here. As you try to develop and turn Akwa Ibom into a hub where business thrive, the ecological problem that will come from, degradation and a whole lot of issues that will come from these firms and companies all in Akwa Ibom State, for the old men and women who once relished the beauty of his or her environment. You should be concerned how you manage the ecological problems in your state.
Suleiman, it can be worse than what we are having today. Take, for example, if you get to the area that I come from, if you put a roof in the house, after 1 year, if that roof at the initial stage was red, today will turn black. It can be worse than where we are today. It can only be better because, with the enlightenment and, new technologies, environment can only get better. It can be worse because it's really bad. In terms of anything you can mention, aquatic life in our area is completely gone because of activities of the oil companies. And these people are not even giving back to the society. And there's nothing to compel them. I don't know why they call this, social responsibility. It shouldn't be social responsibility. I know some of the oil companies will tell you that they are contributing to NDDC. I bet people are not feeling the impact. You see, these are some of the things we do as governors. We make sure we use our money to at least have some meaningful development in this area so that these people can continue to cooperate for these activities to go on. But I don't see the environment, I'm talking about my own area, I don't see the environment being worse than what we have today. It can only get better. Because even before now, as I said, that's clear, simple example that you don't even need a textbook analysis. Roof a house in the area that we come from, leave it after 1 year. See what the color will come out of it. And the first rainfall of the year, see the color of the water. And then that will now let you know the environment that will, live over the years. So I don't think that should be a major problem because we must have a way of controlling some of those things and also making our environment better. A lot of industries these days come with, the environmental analysis of what they are producing and how they are going to evacuate the waste. So it comes as a package. And I think we should be able to control that.
In terms of waste, are you planning a recycling plant?
We've made a whole lot of effort in that to recycle waste. We have what we call the waste to wealth. But some of these things that are still in the drawing board, I try to take myself away from talking about them until it materializes because whatsoever you say now, people just believe, oh, we've heard that over and over again until you actually make certain things work. Yes, which is why I've also told you that here, what we do, we don't talk so much. We just allow people to see so that they can start believing in some of this and then start changing from, what people used to think that, oh, politicians just come and keep promising. No, we are delivering.
Before, I know Timlin is about to switch gears, but before we do that, the children, today is Children's Day. What are the plans for the children of Akwa Ibom State?
I can only answer that by saying what are the needs of the children of Akwa Ibom State. 1, health. 2, education. 3, what I call housekeeping. What are those housekeeping? They are basic things of life children must enjoy, which you denying them, I mean, will not be the best of option. First thing I'm thinking of, in Nigeria today, in many places in this country, there are children that live for that basic education. They didn't go to school they didn't have breakfast going to school. And they are not sure of where the lunch or the dinner will come from. And those are the people that we are here to serve. That's what I call Project Akwa Ibom. Looking at that little child who had left for school in the morning, who couldn't even afford, pap, which is so easy to make. Who couldn't afford pap to go to school. So that's why we are saying that, look, if we can even feed ourselves, we would have achieved a whole lot. That's the essence of the Technical Committee on Agriculture and Food Sufficiency. That can we go back to the basics? As of today, we've started 2 planting seasons. You don't just plant early part of the year, go and sleep and wait for. No, our vegetation, our climate, our soil allows us to cultivate all around the clock. So I've started 2 planting seasons. Basic, simple, stable food, cassava, corn, basic things that people can actually sustain their living with.